Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real tonight. Everybody out here thinks men are complicated, but I'm here to tell you we are not. We are simple, but we are deep. And if you ever want to know the one compliment that turns a man on more than anything else, it's not about his body, it's not about his money, and it's not about what he can buy you. It's about who he believes he is when he's standing in front of you. Men crave respect more than praise about looks. And once you understand that, everything about how you speak to a man changes. See, compliments about appearance are easy. Any man can hear that he looks good, that his smile is nice, that his style is sharp. Those words land on the surface and they feel good in the moment, but they don't sink deep. A man can walk out the door, face pressure, rejection, failure, and doubt, and those compliments disappear like smoke. Respect, though, that's different. Respect sits in his chest. Respect stays with him when nobody's clapping. Respect becomes the fuel he runs on. A man doesn't wake up every day trying to be admired. He wakes up trying to be worthy. Worthy of his responsibilities, worthy of his role, worthy of the people who depend on him. When you respect a man, you're telling him, without saying it directly, that he is capable, that he is reliable, that he matters beyond how he looks or what he owns. That hits a place in him that attraction alone can never reach. That's why a man can fall deeply for a woman who makes him feel seen and respected, even if she never once talks about his appearance. Respect sounds like trusting his decisions. It sounds like acknowledging his effort, even when the results aren't perfect. It sounds like saying, I see how hard you're trying. Instead of focusing on what's missing, men live under constant pressure to perform, to fix, to lead, and to hold things together. When someone recognizes that weight and doesn't mock it, minimize it, or take it for granted, the bond grows stronger instantly. This is where many people get it wrong. They think attraction is built by flattery, but flattery fades. Respect builds loyalty. A man who feels respected feels safe enough to open up, to be vulnerable, to invest emotionally. And when a man invests emotionally, his desire deepens naturally. He doesn't feel like he has to prove himself every minute. He feels like he can breathe. Respect also tells a man that he is not disposable. In a world where men are often valued only for what they can provide, respect reminds him that who he is matters just as much as what he does. That's powerful. That's grounding. That's the kind of compliment that makes a man want to protect the connection, nurture it, and show up consistently. When you respect a man, you're not feeding his ego, you're strengthening his identity. You're speaking to the part of him that wants to stand tall, do right, and be better than yesterday. And that kind of affirmation doesn't just turn him on emotionally, it anchors him to you in a way that looks alone never could. One compliment that speaks directly to a man's purpose reaches deeper than anything else you could ever say to him. Every man, whether he admits it out loud or not, is driven by a need to feel useful, meaningful, and aligned with something bigger than himself. From the time he's young, he is taught, sometimes gently, sometimes harshly, that his value is tied to what he can build, protect, or lead. So when someone recognizes his purpose, not just his success, it touches a part of him that rarely gets acknowledged. Purpose isn't about money or status. It's about intention. It's about effort. It's about waking up every day and trying to move forward, even when the path is unclear. When you look at a man and say something like, "I see how dedicated you are," or "you're really good at what you do," you're telling him that his daily struggles are not invisible. That's not just a compliment. That's validation of his inner drive. It reassures him that his sacrifices mean something. Most men don't hear that often. They hear criticism when they fall short, silence when they're steady, and expectations when they succeed. Rarely do they hear appreciation for the journey itself. So when you acknowledge his purpose, you give him something rare, encouragement without pressure. You're not demanding more. You're recognizing what already exists. That makes him feel empowered rather than evaluated. This kind of compliment also builds desire because it aligns you with his direction. A man becomes deeply attracted to someone who understands where he's going, not just where he is. When he feels that you respect his goals and believe in his path, he naturally wants you closer. You become part of his motivation, not a distraction from it. That emotional alignment creates a strong pull that goes far beyond physical attraction. Purpose-driven compliments also strengthen a man during moments of doubt. Every man, no matter how confident he appears, has moments when he questions himself. When those moments come, the words that stay with him are not about how he looked on a good day, but about how someone believed in his vision. That belief can carry him through setbacks and failures. It reminds him that he is more than his current circumstances. When you speak to a man's purpose, you're telling him, "I see the man you are becoming." That's powerful. It tells him that he is not defined by one mistake, one delay, or one obstacle. It tells him that his direction matters. And when a man feels understood at that level, his attraction becomes rooted, steady, and deeply emotional. Feeling trusted fuels a man's desire in a way that most people never fully understand. Trust is not loud, and it is not dramatic, but to a man, it is one of the most powerful affirmations he can receive. When a man feels trusted, he feels chosen, he feels respected, he feels like the space he occupies in your life is secure. That feeling doesn't just calm him, it energizes him. It makes him want to rise to the responsibility that trust places on his shoulders. A man who is trusted walks differently. He speaks differently. He carries himself with more confidence because someone believes in his character and his judgment. Trust tells him that he doesn't have to constantly defend himself or prove his intentions. That sense of emotional safety allows him to show up fully without fear of being misunderstood or doubted at every step. And when a man feels safe, his emotional and romantic desire deepens naturally. Trust also communicates something deeper than words. It says, "I believe you are capable of doing the right thing even when I'm not watching." For a man, that message is incredibly intimate. It reaches beyond surface level attraction and taps into his sense of integrity. Many men feel that they are always under scrutiny, always one mistake away from losing respect. When someone offers genuine trust, it lifts that burden and replaces it with loyalty. This is where desire grows quietly but powerfully. A man doesn't feel pulled toward someone who constantly questions him or second guesses his intentions. But when he knows you trust him, he wants to protect that trust. He wants to be consistent. He wants to be dependable, not because he's forced to be, but because he values how you see him. That motivation is far stronger than fear or control. Trust also invites vulnerability. Men are often taught to hide their fears, their doubts, and their insecurities. When trust is present, those walls begin to lower. He feels allowed to speak honestly.